UFC Mexico this Saturday. It's going to be such an exciting card. So I wanted to talk about some of these fights. Uh, Before I get into the main two fights, I'll point out some fights that I think are going to be really interesting that you guys should definitely pay attention to this weekend. Um, Starting from the bottom, Felipe Dos Santos, he had an absolute scrap versus Manel Cap in their last fight. He's one of the hottest prospects in the entire UFC. Does he get fraud checked? Does he go on a crazy run? Is he Charles Oliveira 2.0? I hope so. I really do. Um, but yeah, that's good. Versus Victor Moreno, I think Felipe is going to win that one. I don't know how. It's going to be crazy though. Felipe brings that energy. Jesus Aguilar versus Mateus Mendonça. Those guys are gonna scrap. Those guys are gonna give us a war. So that's gonna be super fun. Definitely check that one out. Christian Quinones and Hani Bocelos. That's gonna be a super exciting fight as well. Probably on the feet for the majority of it. Um, in the main card, Raul Rosas versus Ricky Tercios. That's gonna be a super interesting fight. Uh, I was super high on Ricky Tercios throughout his tough run, like how tough he was, no pun intended. But we're definitely going to get to hear him say, you know what I was saying, this week at some point. So I'm excited for that.
7 years old, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but it's good to see y'all for this interview, you know what I'm saying? We finna be chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You feel me on that? You feel me? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You feel me on that? You feel me? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You feel me on that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You feel me?
On to the main two fights of the evening. Woo! These guys are going to be scrapping. We're going to get two 25-minute fights of absolute war. Um, I could see both of these going to decisions and not boring decisions either. But first up, Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. I'm going with Yair Rodriguez. Uh, yes, this is a repeat fight. They fought against each other in Brian Ortega's last fight, and Brian Ortega dislocated his shoulder in a scramble. It's a bit fluky, but from what we did see in that first round, in the first 4 minutes that we got, Yair's gonna catch him. And Brian Ortega's boxing defense isn't that great. Never has been. I mean, he's the guy that Max Holloway was teaching in the middle of the octagon how to defend strikes. One of the craziest clips I've ever seen in any sport ever. Um, I just can't imagine what Yair, one of the most creative, dynamic, and like he's accurate with these crazy strikes too. He'll throw spinning wheel kicks from jab range from in the pocket. It's just like whoa, chill, 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 and then he lands it. Or he threw that up elbow and KO'd Korean Zombie at the buzzer beater. You know, like this guy is dynamic, creative, and I think Brian Ortega is just kind of plotty, and he's gonna walk forward and he's gonna show that heart, and it could be a doctor stoppage again. But I think he's gonna get caught by something Yair throws, probably a head kick or something, you know. But I'm super excited for this fight because from what we did see, they got straight at it. They weren't hesitant at all. They were just pulling the trigger. That's gonna be a crazy, crazy fight. And then up next is Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno.
Brandon Moreno, cry baby. It's cry baby, motherfucker. E o bag todo cinturão de lego. Ah, motherfucker. I'm going to knock you out. Seu frouxo, você foi obrigado a me enfrentar pela segunda vez. Motherfucker.
Hey, you weak
man.
You know what I'm saying? Brandon Moreno, I got Brandon Moreno for sure, for sure. Brandon Royval, he's sick. He's a slick fighter. He just doesn't have power. Um, and he can't get up if you take him down. And Brandon Moreno has become a really good wrestler. I mean, there is a slight part of me that's worried that he's been in 4 fights with Davidson Figueiredo. They were all knockdown, drag out wars. Is his chin the same? Is he as durable? Is he going to get hurt all over the place? And then he went and had a fight of the year with Pantoja. It's just hard to look at that much damage and say, oh, yeah, this is the same guy that fought Alex Perez, you know? It's just not that same guy. Not Alex Perez. Who did he fight a month before? Because Davidson Figueroa, never mind. But yeah, this isn't that same guy that fought Davidson Figueiredo on a month's notice. Uh, or it was like a week or two actually. It was crazy how fast that turnaround was. Uh, it's not that same guy. He can't convince me, but I do still think he has enough to beat Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval doesn't hit that hard. Obviously, he could hurt you with a step-in knee or one of his spinning elbows, but he hasn't really flatlined anyone that badly besides Mateus Nicolau. So, yeah, I'm probably going to go with Brandon Moreno by decision. It's going to be an absolute scrap. I think that Brandon Moreno is going to win rounds by getting him to the ground, uh, outpacing him, probably hurting him a couple of times. But yeah, this card is going to be absolutely sick. Check it out on Saturday. UFC Mexico. Let's get it.